We look to resistance to do that again as we move into the future. We hold that pure thought that the elimination of nuclear weapons, and even the unilateral elimination of nuclear weapons by the United States, is an important goal and not merely something to consign to the future. That is what is needed now. The notion of unilateral nuclear disarmament was popular in the late 1950s among war opponents in this country. Now it's hardly spoken in sort of public policy circles. Everything is couched in terms of it must be a multilateral thing, that we can't get rid of our weapons until everyone agrees to get rid of their weapons. We say something else. We say that disarmament begins at home, and it begins with us when we resist. And that's the lesson, is that this is a historic movement, it is a multi-generational movement. And can we imagine how long in the future can nuclear arms continue as an instrument of national policy without catastrophe? How many nuclear power plants can we build and not see a catastrophic nuclear power accident that would end the industry, certainly, because then that would finally trigger public outrage at where the money was being spent and what we were getting ourselves into. Another lesson that I think that the Plowshares movement particularly has helped us to come to grips with is the notion of property. And the formulation that property is that which is proper to human existence, and nuclear weapons are not. So when weapons, delivery systems, and components are damaged, either with an effort to cause maximum damage or as a mere symbolic action to show that the hands that create the weapons can be the hands that destroy them and disarm ourselves, that's an important mental step to take, to recognize that certain things are not proper to human existence, and that it is our duty to get in the way. Our thought with this session of strategic planning was a little bit complicated, and we had a hard time coming to grips with where to go with the notion of how do we move forward. We have some thoughts that we put together and expressed as sort of strategic processes that we might look at in the future. And that's the next step that we're going to move into, is to try to describe a few of those sort of breakout groups that people would be interested to participate in. And the schedule calls for us to go and have those breakout groups in Thaw Hall, but to try to save time, maybe we can just divide up in this room. It's unfinished kind of in this room over to the side, but it might be a little quieter if one group met in that room as well. It is still air conditioned. There's a small area back here also that's air conditioned. There's a small group